I slept with 3 men and had my first ever orgasm aged 56. I slept with 3 men and had my first ever orgasm aged 56. Chapter 3 of a 6-part story of woman's journey to sexual fulfillment. Chapter 3. Meeting the men. Over time, Johanna found herself yearning for companionship, a desire to share her newfound self-awareness and sexual joy. The thought of involving partners in her journey sparked a blend of apprehension and excitement within her, but she was ready. She had the desire, the knowledge, and most importantly, the courage. The first man she met was Richard, a charming poet she met at a local bookstore. He was soft-spoken and thoughtful, his words as beautifully woven as the verses he penned. Richard made her feel understood, seen. He had a knack for asking the right questions, for listening attentively, and for expressing his thoughts eloquently. His kisses were slow and tender, like the poetry he loved. The second man was Thomas, a playful chef she met at a food festival. His eyes sparkled with joy, his laughter infectious, his passion for food palpable. Thomas was adventurous and spontaneous, whisking her off to try new cuisines, new experiences. He made her feel alive, full of excitement. His kisses were passionate and explorative, like the exotic dishes he created. The third man was William, a mature painter she met at an art exhibit. He had a captivating sense of calm about him, a wisdom that only comes with age. William appreciated beauty in all forms and made her feel like a masterpiece waiting to be discovered. His kisses were slow and sensual, like the strokes of his brush. As Johanna started developing these bonds, each man offered her a different shade of intimacy, a unique blend of affection, and a tantalizing promise of pleasure. Yet, she was careful not to rush. She knew her journey was about understanding her desires, her pleasure. It was about embracing her sexuality, and the men were merely companions, not guides. The path to her climax, she knew, was one she had to tread herself. To each man, she disclosed her quest of self-discovery and sexual exploration. Richard, the poet, listened with understanding, his eyes reflecting respect for her journey. Thomas, the chef, responded with enthusiasm, encouraging her exploration with his characteristic optimism. William, the painter, appreciated her honesty and reassured her of his support, his gentle words like strokes of comfort. Each relationship unfolded gradually, a slow dance of mutual attraction, respect, and consent. Their connections were not solely about sexual intimacy, but were deepened by shared interests, engaging conversations, and emotional bonds. This journey was not only about the destination, her elusive orgasm, but also about the path she was treading and the companions she found along the way. Richard introduced her to the world of literature, to the art of weaving emotions into words. Their evenings were often spent in the comfort of his cozy library, exploring narratives that ranged from love and loss to desire and pleasure. His gentle touch and soft-spoken words stirred a sense of deep emotional intimacy in Johanna. Thomas, with his culinary prowess, brought her senses alive. He would invite her to his kitchen, letting her taste the exotic dishes he concocted, their flavors an aphrodisiac to her taste buds. His playful nudges, impromptu dances, and passionate kisses made her heart flutter with excitement and anticipation. William offered her a serene companionship that was comforting in its own unique way. He would often sketch her, his eyes studying her with a gentle intensity that was both exhilarating and comforting. His unhurried touch, his soft praises whispered into her ear, they all added to her growing self-awareness and appreciation of her own body. As she navigated these relationships, Johanna learned to assert her needs, to communicate her desires. Her newfound knowledge about her body and her sexuality became the cornerstone of these intimate moments. There were hesitations, there were stumbles, but there was also understanding, support, and growing desire. Johanna had her companions, her self-awareness, and a growing understanding of her desires. Her journey, she knew, was far from over. It had in fact just begun. This is chapter 3 of a 6-part story. The next chapter is chapter 4, a new romance. Please subscribe to the Romance Diaries on YouTube to hear the other 5 chapters.